All right, today at Grill Master T, we're gonna do some pork tenderloin on the grill. We're gonna do two different types. One of them is gonna be just with what I call my AP season, and I'll tell you what that is. And the other one's gonna be with a little bit of Cajun season. All right, as you can see, I got two beautiful pork tenderloins. So in the prep time is really quick. Maybe take 10 minutes. The first thing I'm gonna do is just pull off this silver skin, if you can see what it is. It's the little foam filter that covers it. All you have to do is use a knife to prick it the way I did. And then you can just use your thumb and pull it back. And you can take that silver skin off of it. Try to get as much of the silver skin off as you can. You know what that silver skin does, if you leave too much on it, it's gonna make it rubbery and chewy. And no one wants to feel like they're chewing bubblegum when they eat meat. So take as much of that silver skin off as you can. Use your trusted knife to get you started. Just peel off as much as you can. You don't want to get rid of all the fat. Some of this fat, when you think about it, you say fat is flavor. So don't want to get rid of too much of it. But any part that feels like excess, you want to go ahead and get rid of that. Got a little bit more piece here I want to take off. And if you can't do it with just your regular hands, or if you got gloves on, I like to use gloves so I don't get all of the meat juices and seasons all on my fingernails. Makes it hard to clean. If you can't do it with that, then you can just get a piece of paper towel to help you grip it better, and it'll rip off. A little bit more. And you'll notice it when you start feeling on it. It'll feel like extra film just stuck to the meat. You just take that off. And it also helps bind your seasonings to the meat. The dry rub, we're gonna use dry rub on this pork tenderloin. Now, do the same thing to the other part. Again, you can just feel for it. Use your little trusted knife to help get you started. And peel off what you can. You might not be able to get all of it, so don't be discouraged if you can't get all of it. Just get as much as you can. That's a good piece right there. As you can see, this one has a little more on it, and that's okay. You can just peel it off. Take your time. The thing about barbecuing is you're never in a rush. If you rush into barbecue, you may want to just put it in the oven. Put on this. See if I can get a little more off here. There you go, that little filmy part. Trust me, you're gonna like it in the end. Get rid of it. See, that's the fat. That's the excess silver skin that we don't want. So we're gonna season them with two different seasonings. The first one is just gonna be a little bit of Cajun rub. And what I like to do is start off with just a drizzle of olive oil, and you spread the olive oil over the meat. Olive oil serves two purposes. Once you use the olive oil to get started, it'll help bind your seasoning, your dry rubs. So put a little bit of olive oil over it. And then from there, you can just sprinkle your seasoning. And I'm gonna use just some Tony Satcher Cajun rub. And you're gonna season this to taste. First I do is sprinkle it over. And then I use my hands to just kind of pat it in. And that's how it should look once it's ready. Now the second one, we're gonna use something a little bit different. I'm gonna start off with a foundation of cayenne pepper, and that's just to give it a little bit of heat. And obviously you're gonna put as much as your palate like. If you don't like heat, you can skip this part altogether. But I'm gonna add a little bit of heat to this. And then the second season, and this is probably my favorite season, it's I call it AP season, and it's just a blend of salt, pepper, and garlic. And the best brand that we have is this one right here we get from Costco. Costco, if you want to sponsor us, go ahead. And this is a blend of salt, pepper, garlic. And I'm telling you, you can use this on just about any piece of meat that you like. The salt is not too overpowering. The pepper is not too overpowering. And that garlic is right on time. And so what we're hoping for with this is to get a blend of the salt, pepper, garlic AP rub and a little bit of heat on the end of it when we finish cooking it. And again, the same applies. You just pat it in. The reason you do that olive oil is so when you sprinkle that dry rub, it really sticks in. And it's gonna give it a nice good bark at the end of the barbecue. All right. So as you can see, 2 beautiful pork tenderloins. Nice, prepped, and ready to go on the grill. All right, now here we are still in Grill Master T's grill prep room. And what we're gonna do right now is some chicken breasts. And we're gonna do the chicken breasts 2 separate ways. One of them is gonna be my trusted AP seasoning, and the second was gonna be lemon pepper chicken breasts. The first thing I'm gonna do is I'm gonna go ahead and tenderize it or flatten it. And to do that, you're gonna use a trusty mallet. But a quick trick, I know you don't see me because I'm off camera, but a quick trick before you go ahead and use your mallet to tenderize it, if you use some type of saran wrap or some type of covering, what that'll do is that'll prevent any splattering and chicken juices and all that nastiness going everywhere. So you got 2 sides of it, one flat end and one with the little spikes. Use the spikes if you're doing steaks, but if you're doing chicken, use the flat hammer side. And all you're gonna do is just beat it like it stole something from you. You all don't see it off camera, but Hachiko is terrified right now. You don't have to beat it too much, you just kind of thin it out. Now there's a couple of reasons you go thin it out. One, it just makes chicken eat a little bit better. It doesn't feel so hard or rubbery or anything like that. And second, it allows all of the chicken to cook at the same size, at the same time. So you see it right now, nice flat tenderized, and that's perfect. So I have 4 of them total. So that was 1. And we'll go ahead and do the rest. So you don't have to watch me do all of them. It's gonna be the same routine, repeated over and over. All right, so I got my chicken breast nice and ready, and we're gonna start off seasoning. And you remember the trick before you put the dry seasoning on there? A little bit of olive oil, not too much. And this is just to help the dry seasoning stick. It also gives a nice appearance when the barbecue is nice and ready. Remember, because you're gonna flip it on both sides on the grill and you want to season on both sides, you're gonna do the same thing on both sides. All right. And for this one, we're using our trusted AP seasoning again, and a little bit of cayenne pepper, just for the little bit of heat. And again, you know how much heat you like, so do what you can tolerate and what you can take. You don't want it to be overpowering, but I like a little bit of heat in it when I eat my food. I know I got my Miami Dolphin apron on, but I like a little bit of heat because of the Miami heat. Whenever I'm using dry seasoning, I like to pour the seasoning on there and use my hand just to pat it in. You're not rubbing it in, you're just patting it in, getting those different flavors nice and in there. You don't want to be eating some bland chicken. You want it to be nice and flavorful. All right, so that's the first batch. And the second batch. The second batch is going to be straight lemon pepper, which is another one of my favorite seasonings. Everybody always talk about the lemon pepper wings, but you can do a lemon pepper chicken breast as well. Just some regular old lemon pepper. You don't have to get too, just some regular lemon pepper. Make sure those flavors get nice. You know, you want it on all pieces of the chicken so every bite can be tasty. Now I'm gonna go ahead and fire up my grill. And I haven't been showing you exactly how I do this. So I'm trying to get away from lighter fluid. So I use Royal Oak tumbleweed. And I have my trusted chimney, which I fill with charcoal. And from there you just light the tumbleweed. And you set your chimney on top of the fire. And it's much more efficient than lighter fluid. You put it this way, you take a step back, wait about 15 to 20 minutes until the top of the charcoal is white and piping hot. And then at that point you'll see me pour it into the bottom of the grill. And from there we get to cooking. As you can see, that charcoal is nice and hot. It's ready to go down. So what I'm gonna do first before I put that on there, set it down. Add a little bit more charcoal to the bottom, just the regular charcoal. And I don't want that to be on fire yet. That's gonna give me that little bit of a slow burn so my charcoal doesn't fizz out. And I put that right in the center for this cook. This thing can be hot, so use some gloves to go ahead and protect yourself. Oh yeah. Nice and ready. Grill down, and this grill comes with a centerpiece that comes out in between. I'm not quite sure how to use that, but I put that back in, and there you go. And we're going to be cooking in a few seconds. I like to let the grill plates get hot. Once the grill plate gets hot, we can start with our chicken breast.
Hi, Hachi.
All right, the grill is nice and ready. So we'll go ahead and start putting our chicken on the grill. Chicken doesn't take very long, so we'll go ahead and make sure we stay out here and watch it. Give it a few minutes to flip, and we'll be ready to rock and roll. So it's been 3 minutes. So what I'm gonna do at 3 minutes, I'm just gonna move the meat just a little bit, And what I'm doing is I'm just trying to give it those classic grill marks that everyone loves to look at and see. So you're just moving it around just a little bit to give it a different placement on the grill. All right, it's been about 6 minutes on this side. So now I'm gonna go ahead and flip it over. And we'll do the same thing for this side as we did to the other side. You can see the grill marks we were looking for, the nice charred outside that we were looking for, and it's going to be delicious. So I had the top closed down a little bit. It's been about 3 more minutes. I'm just going to rotate my meat a little around. And this is just for cosmetic purposes, just to give it that classic look that everyone's looking for. Close it back down. Give it about 4 more minutes, and at that point I'm going to start checking the temperature. I want it to come out at about 165 degrees. So it's been about 8 minutes total cook time for the chicken. You can take a look at the thermometer here. Once I close it up, I had it between 350 and 375 in actual heat for the chicken. Now I'm going to open it up and take a look at it. Check the temperature before I take it out. So I always go to my biggest piece of meat, kind of go right in the middle. And I said earlier 160, but actually we're looking for 150. I'm actually going to take this thing off the grill, because this is hot. So I'll take it off the grill. And what I'm looking for is, I'm looking between 150 and 160. And if I get that, I'm going to call it. There you go, you got 150 and climbing. So I think that's good enough to go ahead and take it off. We're gonna go ahead and call this and take the rest of these chicken breasts off. Looks delicious. That's my lemon pepper. Oh yeah, looks beautiful. And that's my Cajun seasoning right there with a little bit of cayenne. Alright, so the chicken is done and ready. And we're going to take it upstairs and eat it. We're going to go ahead and get to our trusted tenderloin that we've been waiting on all day. It is nice and ready. So I'm going to explain, I'm going to do this in 2 parts. The first part is going to consist of just searing the tenderloin, putting it directly over the fire. And that's just to give it that bark and that color that I like. I'm going to sear it on all sides. Maybe only for a couple of minutes, and just to kind of give it some type of color or texture that I like to see on my pork tenderloins. And once you get that part, then I'm going to introduce you all to my deflector plate. And that deflector plate is going to allow me to smoke it for about 30 to 45 minutes, anywhere between 300 to 350 degrees. All right, now it's ready. I'm just going to go ahead and flip it over, and you can see I was just trying to give it that little grill marks, that little darkness, just to let you remind you that it's been on the grill for a little while. And I'm gonna do the same thing to the other side. All right, looks perfect. All right, so as you can see, I took the tenderloins off just for a second so I can add my deflector plate. And what the deflector plate does is that's that ceramic piece of plate that you put down to prevent the fires from jumping up. That's when you want to smoke it. So now I'm going to smoke it the rest of the way. I got the aluminum foil over my deflector plate just to keep the drippings from dropping on. It makes it easier to maintain and keep clean. So now I just put my pork tenderloins back on the grill, right? Basically in the same spot they were in. Close the grill down. And I'm gonna set my vents to where it's closed slightly, where it's just open just a little bit. And I'm gonna set my bottom vent to where it's open to maybe about a 1. And what the goal is to get this temperature between 300 and 350 while it cooks for 30 minutes. So I'm gonna go ahead and it'll climb up there, and I'll watch it just briefly until I get to that 300. And after that, we can walk away for 30 minutes. So it's been 30 minutes. Now we're gonna open it up and check on it. We want it to be 145 to 155 for the temperature, okay? Looks delicious. Let's check the temperature on it. Alright, so that's it's over to 145. For one of them, I'm going to go ahead and put a light coating of your favorite barbecue sauce on it. These tenderloins are nice, cooked and ready to go. One of them we kept all dry rub, one of them we put the little bit of barbecue sauce on it, depending on what you want to do with it. So we let the tenderloin rest for 10 minutes, and now we're gonna go ahead and cut it up. First 2 pieces are going to be some bigger chunks of cut. Then I'm going to go ahead and make it smaller cuts. Oh, it looks and smells delicious. Can you see it? Nice and juicy. You can smell the flavor. And of course, my off-camera partner has to get a piece of it first.
Really good. Really, really good.
You can even see the juices still coming out of it. Nice and juicy. It's going to be flavorful. And there you have it. Pork tenderloin. AP rub for one, Cajun seasoning and barbecue sauce for the other.